My next guest, Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, a regular on The James Show, an immigration attorney out of the Austin area here in the great state of Texas. Welcome back to The James Show. A couple stories I want to run by you, Kate. First off, I saw a report that dozens of immigration court judges are being fired or somehow forced out by the Trump administration. Do you have any more details on that? What do you think?
That's definitely true. We have seen mass firings, actually of over 100 immigration judges since January. A couple of judges I've talked to were in the middle of a hearing and they got emails terminating them. And it's really unfortunate because the backlog is huge in the immigration court system. It's over 3 million cases. So the Trump administration has fired sitting judges who are knowledgeable and experienced, and they are now replacing them with judges who have no immigration experience whatsoever. So I think it's a problematic move.
Well, is there any legal problems with that? I'm under the impression some judges can't be fired. Apparently these guys can.
Yeah, that's another problem in the immigration system, that the immigration court system is actually part of the Department of Justice. It's part of the executive branch of the government, and the Attorney General essentially runs the whole thing. So the AG, appoints and fires the judges, and they're not Article III protected judges under the Constitution. It's been a problem for a long time under several presidential administrations, but now we're really seeing the effects of this concentrated power within one branch.
Well, it sounds like it's written to be that way, though. If they give the president the leeway to thump judges he doesn't like, then that just becomes a purview of the president.
Yeah, it was set up that way, but people who have been paying attention for a long time have talked about the issues with the court system. There's a reason we have checks and balances, and we don't have them in the immigration court system. And most presidents have not been as aggressive, or I would say abusive, in the past. But, for example, the Attorney General can certify a decision to him or herself and then issue a decision that all of the judges then have to follow. And in the first, 50 years of the whole structure, there were as many Attorney General certified decisions as there were during the first Trump administration alone. So it's, Stephen Miller understands the system, understands how to manipulate the system, and they go in and they just certify these decisions and change completely the structure of immigration court. So there's no, I think it's fair to say, there's no real checks and balances in the immigration court system. And when you have an executive who's willing to aggressively abuse due process and human rights, you really start to see it when there's no safeguards.
All right, Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, give me 30 seconds on the other big immigration story of the day. 475 people detained at a Georgia Hyundai raid by ICE. Your thoughts? You're probably a big fan of that?
This one is kind of mysterious to me. I've read various articles about it. I don't have any clients who were working there, but the person who announced within the agency the raid said himself that there were some U.S. citizens and some permanent residents who were mistakenly detained. One of my immigration law colleagues said to the New York Times that a couple of his clients who were under legal visas doing work were detained. So there does seem to have been some sloppiness. But the curiosity for me is what the motivation was. 500 people is a lot of people at an electric-powered vehicle plant. They were all South Korean, and this comes a week after the South Korean president was visiting Trump. So I think there's more to this story that will be coming out, but right now I'm just watching it with sort of curiosity and suspicion.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to learn a lot more about this. We'll probably have to talk about it in another week or two. Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, how do they find you online?
KLG4TX on Instagram.
Thank you very much.